Welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm Mae.
And I'm Laura. And Mae, you know what we're going to talk about today?
No, I have absolutely no idea. I think you've explained it to me and I'm like, what?
We're talking about maybe the demise of crypto, like as a whole. Who knows?
R.I.P.
FTX's exchange drama. There's a sex cult.
Oh my gosh.
There's amphetamine use. There's the Bahamas. The Bahamas are featured. So listen, guys. This is a world. I did not see this coming for this week.
I mean, if you guys don't have fun with this episode, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Because we got sex, we got drugs, we got party fucking islands, babe.
We've got Silicon Valley bros. So maybe that's
we got
actually,
hookers? We probably have hookers.
No, there's no hooker. Well, actually,
can you say hooker anymore?
Yeah.
Probably not. Anyway.
Enjoy.
Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold on.
From that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm going to ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's Risque Business News.
All right, so what's your new last name?
It's still Planner.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know though. I mean, I don't really feel any type of way about it, honestly.
I mean, it does feel like there was a lot of hype for the wedding, which was well-deserved.
Yeah.
The hype was lived up to.
Oh.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean,
Whoa.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I had the perfect wedding.
It's kind of annoying because people are like, when are you going to get married? And I'm like, fucking never. Now. What are you talking about? Like, I have a wedding after that. Are you crazy?
So I texted my friend of the pod, Ben Kirschenbaum, and his girlfriend just got engaged. And so I texted him. I was like, all this advice. I was like, you know, tell people not to text you week of, blah, 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 like, you know, whatever, all this advice. And he was like,
yeah, man.
He goes, are you fucking joking? I'm not having a wedding after that wedding. It'd be embarrassing.
Yes, that's exactly how I was like, are you crazy? Like,
yeah, it was
not.
so much fun. Like, I think the best part about the wedding, for those of you that follow us on Instagram, you should. If you haven't, I posted an obscene amount of photos from it. If you want to check it out.
There are a lot of pics.
Actually, I haven't done a static post. Whatever, I'll do it. But what I liked about it is that it still had like the pomp and circumstance of like, this is a big fucking event, dude. Like, but it's not. There was zero stuffiness. There wasn't stuffiness at any part of it. Not even the ceremony was stuffy.
There was stuffies.
There was stuffies.
There was a little bit of stuffiness.
A little bit of stuffiness.
And the
And a stuffed clam.
Stuffed clams, which were delicious.
But yeah, there was any sort of like, we're at like my, grandmother's house.
Yeah, there wasn't any hotel ballroom.
None.
That's my favorite when you go to a wedding and it's in like a ballroom that morning was a conference for like information security.
It's kind of
and you're like, same energy.
It's kind of funny to me, like I don't want to like dog on other people, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, I mean,
we're not getting married anymore, so who
yeah,
cares?
that's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna have.
But like when people get married in those situations, I'm like, that there's like just go get married like next to a tree in outside.
A
park would be better than a conference center. But maybe they just think like, that's what you do. You find a conference and you put a bunch of blue lights.
Yeah,
and
then
a
you're
DJ named like Mick Steve from fucking Long Island comes and yells at everybody like, it's time for the bride and groom.
Put your hands in the air, everybody. And
tonight, I want everything tonight.
And your grandma's sitting there just like, what are we doing?
There's smoke that comes out.
Yeah, there's fog machines and grandma's like sitting behind the fog machine just getting like, whoa. So you don't feel much different though from being married?
No, honestly, this week has been very, very, very busy for me.
Well,
so I'm like, I haven't had a chance to let it sink in. But you know what's cute is I think it's really setting in for Mark.
Aww.
Like, so we had a work event for my work, my day job, and he did like 15 minutes at the event.
That's tough.
It was, but he actually killed it and he didn't hold back. So he was coming super late from something else. Is it on?
Yeah,
it's good. But he was coming super late for something else, and he was like, I was driving over here on a city bike, like hauling ass to get here, and he was like, I was thinking the whole time, like, best husband ever.
Aww.
And I was like, that's really cute.
That's adorable.
Yeah, he likes to call me his wife now. I think it makes him feel like an adult. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, he's like, I gotta get back to the wife. What's the wife up to? And I'm like, just sitting here.
That's adorable.
Doing
That's
the
so
same.
cute.
Just fucking schlepping my ass, trying to make my podcast work. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.
Please like and subscribe. God damn it. Yeah, it's been honestly, I can't imagine how your body must be going through so much like stress relief right now,
Yeah.
but also like leftover anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I've been going through that. And I just went. I was like, the beginning of this week, I was like, I don't think I'm ever not going to be hungover.
No, I think
Like,
that's just me now.
I'm pretty sure I'm just sunk into feeling this way.
Right.
And this is the rest of my life. And I just have to accept that this is just my new normal. Cool. Well, that's literally been the only update really in my life as well. I got to be honest. That and then doing research on this freaking meltdown, let's call it. Nerd meltdown that occurred. It's absolutely out of control. But first, there's a couple things going on in the world. I didn't do too many of these because the story is relatively involved, but World Cup is starting soon.
I know. Wait, where is it again?
Funny you should ask.
Qatar.
Yes.
Or
in
Qatar, as you say.
Qatar.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, we get it. You travel.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, totally. I'm like,
Every time-
Qatar.
I feel like douchey when I say it
Lisbon.
correct.
Yeah.
Is hosting the World Cup. I believe it's like actually I know it's like hour or so outside of Doha. The reason I know this is because I went to a World Cup also in Qatar
Okay.
6-7 years ago, like when I was
Yeah.
swimming, and they were building the stadium, and everyone was like, because
Yeah.
we might like want to do a full episode on this at some point, depending on the drama that comes around. But a lot of people died building that stadium. A lot of immigrants.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, it's really bad. The human
Yeah.
rights violations are out of control.
Yeah.
Which is like fine, like that, or that's not fine, but like that's like, yeah, it's like fine. It's that's its own thing, right?
Yeah.
We know that it's been discussed. May's apparently never heard about it.
No, I don't know.
But the other side of this whole thing is like, it's kind of not a party city.
No.
Or country.
Well, isn't it a dry? Is it like
Exactly.
Dubai where there's like only certain places that you can get alcohol? And it's like,
Way more limited than
yeah.
Dubai.
Wow, what a boring.
So what the
Place
fuck are
to
you gonna do at the
be.
World Cup?
I don't know.
Which like the primary thing people are doing is like partying around these. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw some like Instagram reel or whatever. I'm off TikTok, so I don't know anything that's going on in the world anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
I like have to quit TikTok. Like people have to quit alcohol. Like I'm just like, oh, I can't
Yeah,
handle
you're like
this. Like
in a
if-
12-step program.
yeah, I'm like if I watch one, I'll watch like 20,000.
It's true.
Like it really is true. Like if I have one beer, I'll have 10, and that also is true. But you know,
yeah, but that at least is like good
at least
for
it's
you.
social. Anyway, so but I did see I guess a reel. So this probably came out like 2 months ago. Where
Yeah, an Instagram reel. Where
Yeah.
Are you watching Instagram reels now?
Yeah.
You know you really. Yeah, that's not good.
I know, I'm hitting rock bottom
Yeah,
with
that's
this
hard.
addiction.
That's hard.
Um,
That's like when you go to like crack instead of like cocaine. It's like, whoa.
Long
Someone
sto-
needs to check on her.
Totally, somebody come get her. But anyway, so I saw this one where a reporter, who I think he was from like Britain or something, and he was trying to report on the World Cup in Qatar, and
Good. Good for
yeah,
you.
and like the regional police came over and were like yelling at him in like Arabic, and he was like, I don't know what's going on. He was like, but like you're hosting the fucking World Cup. I'm here in a public place doing an interview, and they were like screaming at him to get out of there.
Yeah, no, they do whatever they want. It's actually one of those places where I'm like, so one of the things that just got announced actually earlier is they are reversing one of the decisions they had made, and they are banning all beer sales around the World Cup stadium 2
What?
days before the tournament is supposed to start.
Oh my god, you'd have
Do
to
you-
really, really, really love soccer.
Do
It's soccer, right?
Yeah, it's soccer. Yes. You got that. But obviously, this is a business podcast-ish, whatever, adjacent.
You guys get it.
You got it. That is an insane thing to do.
Yeah.
These sponsorships that those beer companies have with FIFA and the World Cup as a whole are like millions and millions, probably tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And now they're not going to sell beer at the stadiums?
Oh, can they at least advertise their beer that people
I don't know.
can't drink?
Maybe that'll be like the loophole. They're like, wouldn't you love a beer? And they're like,
Everyone's like,
yes.
That would be fantastic.
It's 115 degrees. Also, that
Yeah.
it's literally like 115 degrees,
Crazy.
which is a really good temperature for a ice cold Budweiser.
Who the fuck? I mean, whatever. But like, obviously, this is decided a long time ago to have it there. Why did they? Out of all the
It
places,
was like 10
did
years
it?
ago.
Yeah.
It was a big deal then because they were like, this feels like it might be a problem.
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to do it. I mean, that actually I would like to review at some point. We did one on the corruption in FIFA like a while ago, but I'd like to maybe like circle back and just be like, hey guys, who are the names of the people who made this choice? Because this feels problematic and just not fun. Plain old not fun.
Yeah, just a plain old bummer. Because the other ones are in like Brazil and like
where you're like, there's hookers everywhere.
Yeah. We love that.
Sex workers.
Sex workers. We're saying all the wrong things.
Oh Christ!
We're like whores. No, that's not it.
Yeah.
Random aside, are you watching the new White Lotus? Did you watch the old White Lotus?
I actually just started it this week.
What do you think?
I watched 2 episodes.
It's pretty good, huh?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
They're I mean, I don't think any of the plot consequential stuff has happened yet. I just know that ketamine is involved.
I did not know that.
In the first couple of episodes.
Oh, yeah. The first couple episodes of the first season.
The first season.
I see, yeah.
So I'm like way behind. I'm like a boomer over here.
Yeah, no, the second season's great. I forget what the point of bringing this up was.
Related to Budweiser, related to Qatar, related to 115 degrees, human rights violations.
No.
Any of those?
I'm just trying to plug White Lotus.
Yeah. All right. May's a fan. She just wants you all to know.
I fucking forgot what I was going to say.
It's all right.
All right, we'll move on with our lives. Great show. Check it out.
Great show. That's just a random plug for it. Well, shall we get into it?
Yes, please.
Let's talk about the crypto exchange meltdown. So if you are not hiding under a rock or recovering from a wedding, you've almost for sure seen the story of FTX popping up because it's causing waves, let's call it. It's causing a lot of issues in and it's also like the funniest fucking thing that's ever happened. So a little bit of background. This is a crypto exchange, FTX, and it's like the 5th biggest or something like that. It goes up and down. Third largest, according to one of the sources, by volume, and has over 1 million users, was founded in 2019. So this is like a legitimate, a lot of normal people use this. It's like Binance is much bigger than it. And then there's Coinbase. Those are both bigger than it, but this one's like a power player. Okay. You know what I mean? Like a normal ass. No one ever thought there was an issue here.
Yeah.
It was run by this guy named Sam Bankman Fried. He, in charge of FTX, we'll talk about his whole story. His net worth was estimated at $16 billion. It peaked at $26 billion. So this guy has a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of dollars.
It is. And everyone thought, because of his background, that he was like literally like the next financial messiah. Like they were like, this guy is it. He is our next Warren Buffett. Mm-hmm. Like he's got it going on. And really, really smart, respected people thought this about him.
God, you can fool. Yeah.
That's going to be a theme.
Yeah. If you have hubris, you can really fool a lot of people.
Just do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. I've worked with many people that have exceptional amounts of delusion and hubris, and boy, do they get promoted.
It's insane. It's really I genuinely think self-confidence is, I actually think it's the number one thing you need to have to be successful.
Completely.
And way more than skills.
If you have awareness, God bless.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anywhere in this life.
Absolutely. Quit. You're going to be homeless. Yeah. Homeless people, very aware. Unhoused people, very aware.
Oh, God. We're stepping on landmines all over this episode.
So this story is so crazy that, the author Michael Lewis, he wrote Moneyball and The Big Short.
Yeah.
He has been with them for the last 6 months.
Oh, my God.
Working on a book about it, and
probably a movie, too.
Definitely a movie at some point as well. And I don't know if he knew. Someone needs to ask him and be like, did you see this coming? Because what?
Yeah.
He just got like probably the biggest book he's ever going to write.
Okay.
By being there. Anyway, so Sam Bankman Fried, he, as mentioned, the next Warren Buffett. This guy was like the wonder kid of Silicon Valley and frankly crypto as a whole. He was on the cover of Fortune magazine, literally labeled the next Warren Buffett. Mm. Part of the reason people were so into him is he has this very, very impressive background.
I thought you were going to say haircut.
And haircut. A little afro.
Yeah, he looks like the painter. What's his name? Bob Ross.
Yeah. He looks like young.
He's like a crypto Bob Ross.
Crypto Bob Ross. Oh, that's like the evil version of Bob Ross. If Bob Ross didn't just be like,
little happy accident.
Happy accident. there's no scandals with him, right?
No, I actually, well, kind of. So I watched a documentary about him, and I thought, because I'm like, oh, there's a documentary about him, like, kids fucking.
No way.
Obviously, he's diddling. He's
Right.
You know,
I mean, he
touching
seems like
little Timmy around town.
way too pure to not have some sort of issue.
So that's where I thought it was headed naturally. I was like, obviously, he's going to fuck a bunch of kids. No. He was like a perfect person his entire life, and then he got taken advantage of it by his business partner when he was on his like cancer deathbed, and they made him sign over like the rights to his name and stuff instead of giving it to his son. And it was like this really awful story of like basically like greed and like these people like using his talent and just like ruining the brand. And like when he was teaching all these classes, it was very like nice and looking good and blah blah blah.
Yeah, he was so like it was like ASMR.
Yeah, exactly.
For like gentle souls.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And then these people were like putting his name on things that he didn't actually create and trying to sell them for profit. It was like really ugly ending.
Trying to pull
like,
as much money out of it as possible.
Yeah, and he was like manipulated by these people. It was really sad.
Oh, I hate to see it.
Yeah, but no, he was a great guy, and there was no kid diddling, which I was like, where did we get to that part?
Where's the children diddling?
Yeah.
Like, why do you keep like? We never said there'd be any Mae.
He didn't diddle a single kid, as far as I know.
As far as I know, as far as we consider it. But as business partners, who knows? Well, as far as we know, this guy, SBF, is what they call him. So his name is Sam Bankman Fried. Everyone refers to him as SBF, so that's what I'll be doing for the pod. He was born in by Stanford University to two Stanford law professors. So he was born like into it, like just out the gate, out the womb, into the classroom, right out the way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Straight away. He was the eldest son of them, Joe Bankman and Barbara Fried. So Bankman Fried, of course, they're not going to give up their last names. I'm not either, but I'm like, we get it, Bay Area.
See, this is one thing is that I'm not against or pro changing my name. I'm just sort of whatever about it. The one thing I'm not a huge fan of hyphenated names.
It's a lot.
I think it's really complicated on forms. It's complicated, like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's just a pain in the butt. That's like inconvenience at its finest.
It is. I don't know. And I really don't have a great answer for like what to do about it.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So his parents raised him and his siblings utilitarian.
What the hell does that mean?
Exactly.
Oh, God.
That's a great question. So utilitarian's like not a religion. It's more of like a philosophy on life.
Okay.
And it was this article that was reading about it where it described it as like their dinner table debates were about how to create the greatest good for the greatest number of people.
Oh, that's not at all what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, if it's not like specifically useful, get it out. So if it's just like aesthetically pleasing, that's like not a use or something.
Greatest good for the greatest number. Depends on your interpretation of it.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I guess you're right.
So for instance, there was one example. This is the example they used, which I was laughing at.
Okay.
To explain why SBF was like his application of utilitarian to, controversial world issues that he was thinking about. They say one of SBF's formative moments came at age 12, important to note, when he was weighing arguments pro and con around the abortion debate.
Oh, God. Okay.
He's a 12-year-old white boy in the Bay Area, and he's like, it's time for me to...
I got to chime in.
I got to put a flag in the ground.
What side of the stance is he on?
So, initially...
What side of the stance? Is it the wrong one?
Initially, he was like, this is fucked. Abortion should be illegal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he had to go through this mental exercise where he goes, like, a rights-based theorist might argue that there isn't really any difference between a fetus and a child. Like, there's no strict cutoff.
Sure.
You're 12.
I can understand the argument.
Sure. And thus, fetus murder is essentially child murder. That's like the the A to B from there. The utilitarian argument compares the consequences of each. So the loss of an actual child's life is a life in which a great deal of parental and societal resources have already been invested, is much more consequential than the loss of a potential life in utero. Mm-hmm. You're 12. Once again, this guy's 12 years old and he's like going through this exercise. And thus, to a utilitarian, abortion looks more like birth control, like murder, than like murder.
Yeah.
So SBF decided that this was going to combat like his concerns around the ethics of abortion, and he was comfortable being pro-choice.
Okay. Why are we even having this conversation with a 12-year-old boy?
Go play basketball. What are we doing here?
I mean, at least I don't know. Because, that is kind of like nice boil down of, because like on paper, like if you're looking at like a child gets murdered or doesn't get murdered, you're like, obviously don't murder the child, but then like you have to like think about the other things. So I feel like that's why a lot of people are pro-life, is they just don't like consider anything else. I'm like, please go through this exercise that a 12-year-old child went through.
He accomplished it, no problem. And I think that this is also a very logical way of looking at it. What is making me laugh, though, is the fact that this is the conversations he's having with his parents at the dinner table at 12. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's hilarious.
Like he comes home with his like math homework and they're like, listen, we got to sit down. We got to decide. What are you going to be? Pro-life, pro-choice? Like,
is there
it's
a
time.
certain term that we can terminate the baby, or what do we think? 3 months, 5 months?
He's like, I've just started jerking off. Like, what are we like? I don't need to worry about this quite yet. Maybe he hadn't, though, because this guy was a fucking weirdo. Let me tell you that. He was extremely into math. Shocker. He breezed through his high school, which was an elite prep school, obviously, in California, where he earned top marks and was a fucking weirdo. He kept to himself, spending most of his free time just playing computer games. He loved StarCraft, League of Legends, and trading card game Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
Yes. So just a classic nerd.
Amazing.
Classic nerd. All good. Then he goes to MIT, obviously. He's a physics major, and that's where he found his people.
Okay.
Yeah. He found his fellow pledges at Epsilon Theta, which is a co-ed fraternity of super geeks similarly interested in magic and video games. Now, this makes me laugh because I didn't realize MIT has frats.
Yeah, they do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very different frat culture. I would
imagine, yeah.
Game day is a little bit different. I went to UT. They do frats down there.
Yeah.
Did your school?
No, we were like too small. There was like 6,000 people.
Yeah, you're like, we're all one.
Yeah, we're like,
this whole thing is a frat. We don't know what to tell you. Thetans is what they called their frat. It's not a very fratty name. So guys, Thetans, Epsilon Theta, and they called themselves their Thetans. And they are fond of debating math, physics, computer science, linguistics, philosophy, and logic problems for fun at alcohol-free parties.
Oh my God.
You're not in a frat, you're in a club. Dude,
yeah, it's a club.
You're just in a little cute club.
This is an after-school club.
Who's getting roofied? Who is getting roofied, guys?
I don't know.
No one.
No one.
So it's not real.
There has to be at least like some attempted rapes for it to be considered a frat.
That's the requirement. That's when you submit your paperwork to become a fraternity. They're like, how many times did you have to talk to campus police?
Right.
And if it's 0, they're like, well, listen, we have an image to uphold. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Ramp it up. So, so now he is at MIT. He is hanging out with his probably people who are not hazing him. They're playing Magic the Gathering. Adorable.
Great.
He's very good at math. He's majoring in physics. So then he meets this guy named Will MacAskill. Doesn't matter. Young, Oxford-educated philosopher who was completing his PhD. This guy here.
Okay.
He's kind of cute. Sure. He was researching and promoting the EA community. It's effective altruism, and it's this group of people who believe in doing the greatest good. It's like kind of like utilitarian, but like applying it in a bit of a slightly different way, arguing that many of the ways people think about doing good achieves very little, which I do agree with.
I agree.
But that by applying data and scientific reasoning to the normally sentimental world of doing good, opportunities to have a much larger positive impact can be found. So he started by making this case, and that in the decision with trade-offs, we should choose options which save the most amount of lives.
Yeah.
So again, super serious thing for these guys. Look at this fucking idiot.
I know.
Like, we get it. You take yourself seriously, man.
Yeah.
In glasses.
We
understand. But anyway, so this is what he believes. He's getting into philosophy. Sure. Will, this young man right here, he's an EA. He's part of this community of people, and he was visiting MIT to search for volunteers who wanted to go into his Earn to Give program, which was like linked to the EA community. Mm-hmm. He meets up with our boy SBF at an au bon pain outside of Harvard Square, where he described it to him.
Love an au bon pain.
Love an au bon pain. Good choice. So he argued that if one's goal is to optimize one's life for doing good, often the most good can be done by choosing to make the most money possible in order to give it all away.
Yeah.
Earn to give.
Okay, great.
Cool. this gets problematic. So this approach appeals to those who have successfully chased high-risk investments like crypto. For instance, CZ, Binance's founder, Changpeng Zhao, said he plans to give away 99% of his $33 billion before he dies. He justifies keeping the wealth for now on the basis that by continuing to build wealth, he'll have more to donate later. Pretty convenient way to argue that I need to be super fucking wealthy for my entire life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you
Yeah.
understand? Like, now we see where, okay,
Right.
this is a really easy way to start explaining some interesting. So the taxes should be lower on you guys because you guys can do the most good with all this money.
Right. Blow me.
Exactly. The EA community is largely Bay Area based. It's fucking almost all white.
Yeah.
And a lot of dudes. It's a lot of these like crypto think they're better than everybody else, Messiah complex type people.
Sorry, I missed it. Where?
The Bay Area.
Oh, the Bay Area. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For instance, this woman dated an EA at Stanford. This was so funny.
Oh God.
And she wrote a little like thing, like she was like, never ever date an EA. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm listening, I'm reading.
I'm sure.
So apparently this guy that she was on a date with, or like was in a relationship with, decided to test his philosophical theory without telling her, which was in an experiment known as cheating.
Oh my God.
She received a phone call from him the day after he cheated on her, saying that he had hooked up with a number of people at full moon on the quad, which is Stanford like tradition where they all run around the quad. Who cares?
Yeah, whatever. Naked?
I think it might be naked.
I mean,
think
full
part
moon,
of
that
them
makes sense,
might be
right?
naked. Yeah.
Naked from the waist down.
Yeah.
That's not a great
sweaters.
look. Yeah.
When obviously she was like, what? What's going on here? He realized that he had done something wrong, so he told me he was going to fix it to give him a little bit of time. She's like, all right, whatever. 2 hours later, he comes back to her and says, hey, he donated $400 to the Against Malaria Foundation in her name and sent her the receipt with an apologetic note. According to him, each person has equal value and the suffering of each person has equal value. So
God.
if he could alleviate the suffering of 16 African orphans, his hurting me wouldn't be bad. Because of his mistake, he had done something that was going to give more consequential good to the world than her cheating on her.
Sure.
I mean, that's ninja level trying to get out of like.
Yeah, like I'm a good person, and here's proof.
Here's proof. Here's receipts. Here's receipts. You want receipts? I donated this much money to the African orphans.
Great.
And she was like, "We're breaking up."
Yeah.
Fucking
yeah.
Obviously. Also, don't ever call me.
No, you're a psychopath.
You're a psychopath.
Yeah.
So that's like the kind of thing. Like that's a strong example of. That's a very minor. Right?
They think that they can buy themselves out of any mistake they make too.
They also
Sort
think
of,
that like,
you know.
yeah, I mean, there's certainly elements of that. And then also it's just like, oh, well, like the collective good I do on the world is the most important thing here.
Mm-hmm.
But no one's really defining what that collective good looks like
Yeah.
and what that means. And like applying a more like responsibility and how responsibility, like the random people that you don't know in Africa versus like your direct group that you're affecting
Yes.
emotionally.
Right.
And is like, what needs take precedent? Is it like just your physical needs
Right.
of like being physically alive? Or is it also like, hey, you're causing havoc in the society directly around you?
Yeah, that's actually funny. I feel like that's a big theme in general. Like, for sanctimonious people, you know, it'll be like, oh, I reposted this infographic about what's going on in Iran, but I also screamed at my roommate for opening
Right.
up her tuna can or whatever, fucking leaving it in the sink. And it's like, just because you portray yourself as a good person, doesn't mean that then you can be a piece of shit to actual people in your life.
Exactly. It's not like a zero. Like it's not like a do one good bad thing. You can
Right.
do two
Like a
good things
scale.
too. No, don't do bad things. The end.
Right. Don't hurt people that are nice to you.
The
Don't hurt
end.
people in general.
Yeah. Well, anyway, SBF did not agree. He was super into it. He was like, done. Way
God.
into it. And this is actually growing in popularity in the Bay Area and probably
God.
Boston as well. Like those little
Jesus
probably
yeah,
New
yeah.
York. Actually, not New York. Let's be real.
No.
New York would be like, get the fuck out of here with your EA bullshit.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, ew. Oh God, the Bay Area is like
It's weird.
nonsense to me. I just don't
weird.
enjoy it. I
We
think
need
people
to-
are like brainwashed out there. No offense, Bay Area listeners, but like there's just like something weird going on.
It's not all of them for sure, but they're there. And I think anyone
Yeah.
who lives in the Bay Area is like, yeah.
I've dated a few of them.
I've come across them, and they're definitely not going to enjoy this podcast. Whoa.
No, they're gonna hate it. They're gonna hate every second of it.
Whoa, they would not like it. Anyway, so he gets super into the EA community and he's like, oh my God, my people. And then he joins Jane Street Capital after graduating from MIT. Jane Street is like an under the radar, but one of the most like respected high frequency trading shops in New York. They recruit the smartest people to run high frequency trading.
Oh God, I would be so bad at that job. Ooh, I'd be
Ooh,
bad.
I mean, yeah, I'd be like,
I'd be
but I
like
guess when I
paralyzed
get-
in fear the whole time, and I would just end up doing nothing because I would like.
I'd be like, I'm on TikTok, so like, did somebody? Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry.
I get,
Did we
like-
lose $1 billion? Oh, I'm sorry.
I had analysis paralysis. I don't know.
I got nervous.
Oh my God, I'd be so nervous, dude. I'm literally over here like,
Yeah, you're like already nervous. You're like, computers, no.
no, and I get so mad at technology when I'm frustrated. Holy fuck.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this is exactly the kind of shit that they would pull these like super brains in
Yeah.
for. And everything was going really well for him. So it was 2017. He was killing it at Jane Street. He was doing really well. He was very fluent with transactions, just like based on, his background of being a mathlete, being frankly into video games kind of helps with this as well.
Yeah.
Apparently he was so good that people would come watch him do his job.
Oh my
like he
God.
was like esports.
Like a what?
Yeah. Like, like when people like go watch Twitch streams,
Yeah.
they were like watching him like do
Oh, wow.
his job, which
That's
I was like,
crazy.
you're really good at your job, but no
Yeah.
one's watching me write emails. Let me tell you that.
No. Or making corny jokes. Happy Friday. Oh my God. Yeah. Did you get the contract? I sent it over. Should be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's every email May writes.
That's me
I'm
every single
in
day.
the background on a Twitch stream, like, yeah, let's fucking go. Yeah.
Awful. Okay.
So he was doing great at work. He was giving away 50% of his income to his preferred charities. So that was cool. His biggest donations were going to the Center for Effective Altruism and 80,000 Hours. So this is a little bit interesting because both of those charities are run by Will McAskill. So this is kind of another theme is they're very, very good at giving money to people in their community. Mm-hmm. Sure. And then he had a lot of good friends because of this community. Mostly they were fellow EAs. Some were even colleagues. This is actually where he meets Caroline Ellison,
Okay.
who we'll come into later. He made a bunch of money. He was like focusing on crypto because just that's like there's a ton of volatility into it. Why are you laughing? What's going on?
I'm just laughing about how I brought up White Lotus and then said nothing about it.
Have you guys seen White Lotus? Anyway, back to the pod.
That was literally me 20 minutes ago.
and I'm like,
And you're
uh-huh.
like, well, what's the thing about it? I was like, it's just a good show. Okay.
And I had to be like, uh-huh. It's a good show, everybody. Thank you, May, for your contributions.
Oh, that is so funny. Okay, so I'm sorry.
No, it's good. And did you have any other comments on White Lotus? Round two on White Lotus contributions with no follow-ups.
I still don't have anything to say about it.
It's a solid show. I've watched 2 episodes. I think we covered that. Maybe wait 20. We'll be back. I'm pretty sure in 20 more minutes we're gonna come back to this. Maybe we'll have more thoughts. Probably not.
Probably not. Okay,
Probably not.
continue. I'm so sorry.
No, that's good. Okay, so he's in this EA community. He's doing a lot of trading on crypto. And who cares? It made him look good. And then he decided that he was just like bored because he was too good at this and that he needed to take bigger risks with his life
Okay.
or he would never make the most amount of money.
Oh God, is he about to do these like extreme sports these guys do?
No, that'd be so much cooler than what he does. Jesus Christ.
Oh God.
Fuck, that'd be so much better. Oh my God. I'd Twitch stream that. That's true. No, he leaves Jane Street and he doesn't have a plan actually. And everyone was like, what? Like you're making buttloads of money here.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? But he had a list of potential options, what he was going to do. The first one was journalism, which has low
that's
pay, which I was
random.
like,
Yeah.
okay, what? But a massively outsized impact potential. So like, I guess the words you write can really do a lot.
Yeah.
Sure.
I guess.
I don't know. Whatever. If it's behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not, I can't. Second one would be running for office or maybe just being an advisor. This guy, he's a piece of work.
Yeah.
The third one is working for the movement. Of course, EA needs people. His effective altruism group. Okay. 4 was starting a startup, and he didn't know what for. Cool. And then the fifth thing that he was going to think to do was bumming around the Bay Area for a month or so just to see what happens.
What? So, like, did you mean like literally being unhoused?
No, his parents live there. So going home to live with mom and dad, which is
Okay.
actually what he ends up doing.
For 1 month? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, for a month. Who
Go
cares?
ahead, yeah.
Why are we even writing about this?
Yeah,
I don't even know.
I did this really brave thing. I moved in
Well,
with my parents for a month.
4 weeks.
Actually, that would suck.
It would suck. Actually, I'd probably write about that too. I'd be like, you believe what I did?
I'd be like, do you have any idea how many stories were repeated at dinner? Every night.
Every night.
It's like Groundhog's Day.
It is incredible. Once you hit 40, I'm pretty sure you just... Actually, I think I'm already doing it.
Yeah. Oh, me too. I
have like 4 stories and I'm just going to
yeah.
tell them to you. Tune in next week. I'll tell you that mayonnaise story again. Okay. So, in fact, this is kind of summarized when he meets up with Caroline Ellison, who is visiting him in visiting the Bay Area, and she is there for some LARPing event. Do we know LARPing?
God. I do know LARPing. Actually, speaking of LARPing, there was first of all, somebody broke a window in the antique house that we got married in. Yeah, so we have to pay for the window. I don't know.
Oh no!
I know.
Who broke a window?
I don't know. Somebody must have leaned against it and it cracked. Whatever.
Oh no!
I know. So
it was a beautiful house.
It was a beautiful house. But then the next day there was another event there. So me and Mark were like, well, how do they know that we're the ones who cracked it? Maybe it was the next one. It was like a 15-person event that was vampire LARPing. It was a vampire LARPing event. So that place has a lot of range.
It does have range. And I will say, pretty good house for vampire LARPing.
Yeah,
If I was planning a vampire LARPing event, I would pick that house.
Pretty cool.
That's insane.
Anyway, the vampire LARPs, they broke the window.
They probably
and that's
did.
the story
Fucking
that I'm...
freaks.
Yeah, they probably did with their mind games, broke the window.
Probably in their weird sex shits. That's what they do, right?
They probably are doing weird sex
They
shit.
definitely are.
Yeah.
These people are the weirdest.
I wonder...
Look at this. Look at her. This is Caroline Ellison.
How old is she? She looks 10.
She is probably 24, 23 in this
Wow.
picture. She looks 11 years old.
She looks 11 years old. That looks like my niece.
She is described as, she was dressed as a sultry wood nymph in this picture. If you're watching the YouTube, I'll put it at the bottom.
That's really not
First of all, this
good.
is
That's
not
a horrible costume.
This is not sultry. She's just wearing a V-neck.
Yeah. And a brown shirt.
And a brown shirt and a cute, like, I will say I like her little heads. Head set
it's
there.
okay. I mean, it's kind of,
But
that's
she
like
looks like
wearing
an
cat
11-year-old.
ears to a fucking Halloween party. Like, she threw in the towel here. I mean, what are we doing here? A wood nymph? Give me a break.
She's a wood nymph. Anyway, so she was ready to be a wood nymph. And she actually had to dress as this in order to go meet for coffee, which I was like, that's embarrassing.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, she didn't commit so hard. She looks like someone wearing a brown shirt.
She looks like an 11-year-old wearing
Yeah.
a brown shirt. We can also be mean to her because she's a bad person.
Okay, good.
So
Let's let her rip.
let her rip. She's a bad person.
She got dull skin.
Not mean. I said mean. Not just
She
not
needs
just
to-
a dermatologist is recommending it.
She needs to get a facial.
This girl, that shirt is not the right size. It's too long in the sleeves.
It's too long in the sleeves.
Stop being so mean
And she
to
needs
her.
to sloth. She needs to get like a nice exfoliant. You
Yeah.
know? Maybe some like highlighter.
Also, the hair.
The hair is
Never
a
mind.
frizzy disaster. I gotta tell
Woo.
you.
All right.
All right.
That was kind of mean. But we need to work on being more. We need to work on that skill. Okay, so she goes to meet up with SBF, and I thought this conversation was hilarious, where she sits down with him at a table and she goes, so what have you been up to these last few months? He had left Jane Street where she worked with him.
Mm-hmm.
He responded, oh, I can't tell you. It's a secret.
Okay.
And she goes, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Drinks her drink. Then there's like an uncomfortable silence. And then SBF goes, well, I guess I could tell you if you like really want.
Oh God.
And she goes, nope, it's okay.
This reminds me of men in DC that work vaguely for the government.
Yeah.
Like filing papers.
Dude, we don't care.
Nobody gives a shit.
I don't give a shit, dude.
No.
Relax.
You could be sucking Joe Biden's cock and I
That's-
don't give a shit.
No, I want to hear about that.
That would be interesting, yeah.
I would like to hear about if you were
I'd be
doing
like, he can
that.
still get hard?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Incredible. So she says, he asks, oh, I guess I could tell you if you really want. And she goes, nope, it's okay. So she's actually, I will say, good for you. You know how
Kinda
to play the
hilarious.
game. You know how to play the game. She's dealt with enough of these weirdos that she's like, I'm fucking,
Yeah, whatever, man.
I don't know.
Sure.
An awkward beat later, he broke the silence and just says, I'll just tell you.
Okay.
Okay.
Just come out with it already then.
Yeah, exactly. So after 2 years, at 25, he had founded this company called Alameda Research. Here we go. Now we're into it. Which uses financial tools in the crypto space. Revolutionary.
Yeah, right.
And he was able to make money by trading crypto internationally. Usually you can't do this kind of thing because this gets complicated, but basically in exchanges in other countries, you have to have a bank account present in that country in order to like deposit money and stuff like that. And then that's really difficult to do because of money laundering and a lot of reasons that are very much in place because of like real laws.
Right.
There's a reason for all this. However, one of his friends was in the EA community, lives in Japan, and is Japanese, and was able to help him find a Japanese bank that was willing to facilitate him having an account over there, of course, for a fee.
Yeah.
And the spread between Bitcoin in Japan and Bitcoin in the US was, whoa, I'm going through puberty, was 10%. But it was a trade that Alameda found it could make every day. So what they were able to do is basically this like guaranteed 10% return every day.
Interesting.
On this trade that they were able to do. And that was able to take, he had $50,000 out the gate, made it rapidly increase. Mm-hmm. We know how that works.
Yeah.
So he was pretty fucking fired up and he was like being all coy about it. And she's like, okay, like whatever, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Dang, your aura ring just like
yeah, no, I really slammed that to accentuate the point. So he got money from one of the founders of Skype and threw it at Alameda. So he needed more capital basically to be like, I'm just going to keep doing this really solid trade. And then after a while, he recruited Caroline and a few other EA members to join. His whole thing was that he was going to donate 50% of the profits to charity, of course, ones started by other EA members. And it worked. Alameda was growing pretty quickly and it was making money. So at this point, all is well, quote unquote. Nothing ever is well. 2019, FTX is created. So one of the issues with trading crypto is that it's very difficult to manage it, you know? So the exchanges are clunky, especially going internationally. Binance and Coinbase he was getting annoyed with, which are like the two major players. So he decided to make his own. He launched FTX in unregulated Hong Kong and then eventually moved it to the Bahamas because politics in Hong Kong were bad around COVID-19, which was in 2020, which is 1 year later. And because of his background, he was able to really navigate all of the legal water around this because he was the kid of two fucking law professors.
Right.
So he knew all of this stuff. And then he also worked at one of like the premier, firms in New York for finance. So this guy's got like every box checked. He's a weird EA dude. He's got his little afro. We're ready to go. You know what I mean?
He's got his weird little friend that dresses up like a
who he's like weird to.
Lynx or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, so weird minx. Who knows? So at this point, all he needs is more money. He's like, okay, I just got to feed the machine. More money, it'll make it grow faster.
Just go to SoftBank.
He raised money from a company called Sequoia. Sequoia is probably the premier VC out there. Very respected. They've done investments in groups like Zoom. Heard of them?
Never.
DoorDash, which is funny because they don't make any money.
Yeah, they kind of stink on ice.
They do. 23andMe, Apple, Airbnb, Okta, and Stripe. So they are not fucking around. There are a lot more than that. That was just like in the first couple.
Yeah.
So, keep it looking. The story of his pitch is hilarious because he was talking, he had to do a Zoom interview, this was during 2020, of course, with the people at Sequoia, and he shows up all schlubby.
Yeah.
He's on Zoom, and the people at Sequoia are like asking him questions the whole time, and he's like going through and he's explaining the platform. And then at one point he talks about how his vision for the platform is to be used for money as a whole. It doesn't really matter. The important point,
like crypto or regular USD.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Sure. So they saw like the potential market cap of being every person in the world, which they were like, whoa,
we like this.
We love it. The partners adored him. They were freaking out. Apparently the chat window on the side of the Zoom was like, I love this founder. Another one goes, I am 10 out of 10. And the third was like, yes, all exclamation points. So that's like, they're into it, right? One of his SBF's coworkers, they're in the Bahamas at this point. He was sitting behind him He goes, I was sitting 10 feet from him and I walked over to like check out how it was going, thinking, oh, wow, like this is really good. Like we're getting really good responses from Sequoia right now. And he looked down at SBF. It turns out that motherfucker was playing video games through the whole Zoom call. He was playing League of Legends.
Oh my God.
Like,
it's kind of impressive, the multitasking skills, especially on a man.
Absolutely. Also, yeah, very, very impressive on that side. But the fact that the founders just like had no idea.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's insane.
And what's even funnier is that this interaction that I'm writing about or like reading about was all included in this article written by Sequoia.
Oh my God.
So they found out about it later and they were like, that's our boy.
Yeah, yeah.
What a little weirdo. You know?
Right.
They said that they were incredibly impressed. It was one of those blow your hair is blown back type of meetings. And then literally Aurora, who was the guy who was right around SBF, like one of his coworkers, he said that he was in the middle of a gang kill when he would pause talking for a few seconds. And then he would like be doing one of the, I don't know, it's like
some sort of kill on the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A big fight. And he was fucking in a gank when he was answering this final question from Sequoia.
Fucking in a gank?
I mean, that's
okay.
how they describe it. It's video game talk. Sure. That round raised almost $1 billion.
Now, he should have been fucking in a gank at his frat.
Yeah, that's what he should have been. Anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe we wouldn't have the problems that we have now if he'd been doing that.
Yeah.
So he raised $1 billion while he was
a few dollars
playing video games.
Wow.
Hell of an hour.
How are there some human beings that are like that, and then there's me where I can barely like form a sentence?
I don't know, but on the other hand, you also aren't a sociopath.
That
so
too.
That's probably, what are you gonna do?
What is it where I feel like there is a strong correlation between intelligence and sociopathy?
I think I would disagree with you. I think we only see the sociopaths who are intelligent because the other ones are just low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? Like they're not.
They're
not
just like
as
beating their
impactful.
wives somewhere.
Yeah, we're like, oh no, we don't care.
Right.
Stop.
Yeah.
These guys are like, I'm gonna open a whole company and then like dissolve a market.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Jesus.
That was wild. So he opened his headquarters in Bahamas. He'd already done that, and he was he was a workaholic to every degree. They bragged a lot about the fact that he wouldn't sleep in a bed. Okay. He had a beanbag next to his desk so he could catnap and work like all hours.
What years was this?
This is 2020.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Huh.
I was like,
because like that's very like 2008.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm on the grind and look how interesting
I
am.
hate sleep. I hate it. I hate beds.
Like, wellness? Who's she?
Look at his pillow. It's like a couch pillow. Which is fine, but like, what's going on? Why do I have to be looking at this picture of him?
No, it's not fine.
Also, Sequoia was fired up about it. They were like, he doesn't even sleep. He sleeps on a beanbag. Look at this guy.
I want to sleep in a bed. How about that?
How about that? So the work culture there was very weird. Everyone was EAs. They were all obsessed with crypto. Their all hands meetings were 10 minutes because their fucking attention spans are shot.
Yeah.
Probably from TikTok. Each division leader had 10-second updates where they were supposed to give like the marketing update in 10 seconds or less. Oh my
God.
Which I actually kind of don't hate that.
Yeah, marketing's good. Bye.
Yeah. Marketing, we have a new logo. Bye.
Yeah.
They're done.
Graph, it's going north. Goodbye.
Exactly. In the Sequoia article, he even bragged about not believing in books. Which they were like, what?
How does that mean?
He said, if you write a book, you fucked up. It should have been a 6-paragraph blog post. He's just so arrogant.
He really is.
I also, to be fair, I'm looking at all of these things that they're writing with the lens of knowing things fall apart.
Right.
So I will say, like, from their perspective, they were like, well, these are just the kids nowadays and they're making a shit ton of money. So I guess we give them money.
Yeah.
Beyond that, so let's talk about this Bahamas location a little bit because it comes up. It's a very spicy place to live. So they were living in this like little community within Nassau in Bahamas.
Oh, yeah.
And this little area that they were specifically in is like where all of the elites live. Like very expensive.
Okay.
I will not be going there. I will not be invited to this place. It's like adjacent to Epstein kind of deal.
Yeah.
They specifically got this place called the Orchid, which is the penthouse apartment B, one of the most expensive condos in all of the Bahamas, and it's where he lived with his 9 roommates. So it was like,
Oh my God.
yes. And these were fellow travelers in the EA, which is their effective altruism movement. It was SBF, his family, close friends, and they were all trying to use this, like their EA-ness to make as much money with FTX and do good for the world. Of course, they all were fucking or had fucked in the past. So this group was called a polycule, which means a polycule is a romantic network of multiple people typically linked by overlapping sexual relationships. So already spicy.
Okay, so they're all just
And he's their
fucking.
leader
Okay.
for this little weird movement that he's created. Not created, but
So all the guys are
popularized.
fucking the same girls, or they're all fucking each other, or
It's a
like-
combination. I
okay.
don't know if they did group sex. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Caroline Ellison was the only, at
I
least
definitely want to know.
primary person mentioned in terms of being a woman there. Before she had joined Alameda as a trader in March 2018, she was a junior trader at Jane Street. Before that, she graduated from Stanford and had a bachelor's degree in mathematics. So she's a fucking baby.
Yeah.
She is a baby with a bachelor's degree in math from Stanford, which is very impressive. Going to Jane Street, very impressive. That does not normally qualify you to be a CEO
No.
for a billions of dollar organization because you are a baby, and that's fine.
You're in your diapers.
You're in your diapers. She was also a Harry Potter fan.
All right.
born
Well,
of
that's
2
a book.
economists.
So what the fuck? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? She's
no,
pretty
she was like, "How
off-brand.
dare you?
This should have been an article.
This should have been 6 paragraphs."
Should have been six paragraph article. This Harry Potter book.
She said she didn't want to go into trading because she just she hadn't wanted to go into trading but just didn't really know what to do with her life. So then she went to Jane Street,
And became a CEO.
and then she went to Alameda Research after that and became CEO at 28.
Wow.
Yes.
So she's in the polycule.
she's in the
Probably getting
polycule.
Dicked
She's-
up and down and all around.
I bet she is. So this is like, there's a bunch of other people in it too. The oldest person in this group is 35, and he's the oldest by far.
oh, wow.
By far. Like
Okay.
they're all mostly in their mid 20s or so. The most high level decisions pertaining to the operation of $32 billion and $32 billion exchange FTX and its research group Alameda Research was made by these people, and they were all, fucking each other. Caroline, she's active on social media and tweeted some weird shit, which is fair because she was in her 20s,
Yeah.
But one of the things goes, nothing like regular amphetamine use to make you appreciate how dumb a lot of normal, non-medicated human experience is.
Okay.
Okay, Caroline. And then she also found she had a Tumblr. Do you have a Tumblr?
No, I never had a Tumblr, but I am familiar with the platform.
Yes. Apparently it's still around, and I never had a Tumblr either. It sounds like very artsy and not my thing.
Yeah.
In her Tumblr, which has the handle World Optimization, okay? Some of her posts were some really weird sex shit.
Okay.
One of them being, when I first started my foray into poly, I thought of it as a radical break from my trad past, traditional past. But to BH, I've come to decide the only acceptable style of poly is best characterized as something like imperial Chinese harem.
Sure.
Yeah, it sounds like something
Like
she's-
basically a brothel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she's like into it.
Okay.
She's okay. I'm less hedonistic and more masochistic. I get a lot of pleasure from doing things that are hard, unpleasant, physically taxing, or emotionally painful.
Weird.
Okay, dude. You are a CEO
Yeah.
of a big company.
Yeah.
The account went on to detail how the dynamic should ideally function as a cutthroat market of sexual competition and subjugation. None of this non-hierarchical bullshit. Everyone should have a ranking of their partners. People should know where they fall in the ranking, and there should be a vicious power struggle for the ranks.
Oh my God. Whoa. I would not want to be in that poly
No, absolutely
cube
not.
or whatever it is.
She's also like the only woman in this polycule. I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen.
Polycule.
Listen.
Wow.
Also had some weird race stuff.
Oh,
She was obsessed with human biodiversity, and I guess she like went on at length about the Indian caste system.
Oh God. Pro or against?
Whoa. Just reviewing it.
Okay.
And like, yeah.
So what was her? I mean, I guess what's going on there? What did she say?
We can maybe go into that in a follow-up because I didn't go into it too deeply.
Oh, okay.
But basically, she was talking a lot around the discredited fields of race science and eugenics popularized by the alt-right.
So she like thinks there should be more. What does she think?
I guess more human biodiversity.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Sure.
I mean, I guess that doesn't sound bad.
I don't know. Either way, she's like weird. I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest takeaway from this whole thing is that they're in a polycule. She's talking a lot about doing drugs and some just fringe sex shit.
Yeah.
And fringe racial conversations.
Yeah.
She's a CEO of this organization and
That's
she's
not gonna work out.
28 years old. It's worth reviewing.
It's worth reviewing. It's very strange.
Some other things that she said that are really problematic in a very different way was one of her posts said, I didn't get into this as a crypto true believer, excuse me. It's mostly scams and memes when you get down to it. She's running a crypto exchange.
Nah.
Secondarily, on
And
the
kinda.
yeah, I mean, she's not wrong, but you're
not
running
wrong.
a fucking exchange. So like maybe you should believe
Maybe you
in
should
it.
like shut the hell up. At least shut the hell up.
Or like don't run a crypto exchange if you don't
Yeah.
believe in it, right? Like
Right.
The second thing she said is regarding the 2008 financial collapse, she said, I can't think of anyone involved who makes me go, yes, what that person did should be illegal and result in going to a prison for a long period of time.
So she just doesn't have a moral compass.
Correct. I think
Okay.
that's what we're really getting from all of this.
Yeah. I just want to clarify before when I was like, that doesn't sound so bad. I meant she wants more human diversity is what I was thinking. And I was like, oh, that's good. But I realized she's, talking about eugenics stuff. I'm not saying that's good. I just want to clarify for anyone at home.
I think we all get that you were like, what?
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure everyone knows I am anti-eugenics.
Yes. She thinks it's, Caroline Ellison thinks it's worth review. I mean, let's hear them out.
That's so
All right,
funny.
Caroline. All right, maybe we take a lap. Maybe we
Yeah.
go ahead and shut that Tumblr down.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is an interesting side. Her family is pretty well connected.
Oh.
Her dad is an MIT professor, Glenn Ellison, and he used to report directly to SEC chairman
Oh, boy.
Gary Gensler.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Worth noting. So they grew, and the marketing was like, you might actually have seen some of this. You definitely have probably seen some of this. They did a ton of marketing because they wanted to grow the exchange. They wanted to get more people to put money into the exchange. They spent $135 million on naming rights to the Miami Heat Stadium in a 19-year contract.
Okay.
So the FTX Arena, which is probably no longer the FTX Arena because they don't have any money anymore. They also got a lot of celebrity endorsements, which is fun. Steph Curry did an ad for them. During the Super Bowl,
Wow.
Tom Brady and Gisele did an ad.
Oh, God.
Yep. This is the picture you can see here. It says Crypto FTX UN. And here's a picture of Gisele and SBF together.
Not
in
long ago.
April 2022 in
Oh
Vogue.
my gosh. Ooh.
And in this article, it was talking about it was SBF's commitment to give $1 billion to charitable causes that persuaded Gisele to serve as FTX's head of social and environmental initiatives.
Oh, boy. How the fuck is she aging backwards?
She's a witch, I think.
She looks so pretty.
She looks insanely pretty. I think she's a witch.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Larry David also did a commercial for them.
Like I was saying,
This
it's
one's fun.
FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I'm never wrong about this stuff. Never. Franklin!
I mean, he kind of, well, that's kind of
It's
aged
a
poorly.
it's a pretty funny commercial
Yeah.
in retrospect.
Yeah.
So we'll circle back on this Tom Brady Gisele thing in a little bit, but point is they were deep in it with SBF.
So random. Right?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. And he had SBF himself had access to like fucking everyone. Like the amount of celebrities and extremely important politicians and people like that he
Yeah.
was around is out of control.
You can
This is
totally understand why people are like, "There's a global cabal." I'm like, dude, there is.
Dude, look at this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
he's literally on stage at this point with Tony Blair and Bill Clinton.
Oh my goodness.
This motherfucker is like 29.
And he looks so sweaty and his
He's
shirt's
wearing
all
his
dirty.
stupid shorts, and people are excited he's in shorts. That's the
Yeah.
weird part is like I feel like all of those like the Zuckerbergs and the Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Even Steve Jobs wore a goddamn turtleneck.
I know, yeah, right? At least
He
it
looks
looks like a
fine.
little presentable.
Yeah, but they all like glorified this like schlubby.
Yeah.
You have to look like a piece of shit.
Right.
But look, you just look disrespectful.
I agree. I
Like,
agree.
Put a fucking shirt on. You're next to Bill Clinton.
And is it really
whatever you want
that
to say? He's the former president. Like, put a fucking shirt on.
True. This is what I find so funny. Like, even when people fly on planes and like, oh, I wear a giant sweatpants, whatever. I'm like, is it really that much more comfortable than wearing jeans and a t-shirt?
Yeah.
Not really. Like,
Get some better jeans.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anyway. So he was all over the place, and especially in Hollywood quite a bit as well. There was one funny story where Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry, they had met for the first time at a party in Los Angeles over Super Bowl weekend where he just started talking to me. It turned into one of those awkward situations where you know you're supposed to recognize someone, but you can't figure out who they are.
Oh God.
So SBF didn't know who Orlando Bloom was.
That's really funny. Actually, you know what? Honestly, I feel like Orlando Bloom has not been doing a lot of
Good for
projects
him.
lately. I know, right?
I think he's probably busy being like normal.
Yeah, he's probably like, I don't know, I'm just gonna like enjoy my life.
Yeah, God forbid. I like don't get into some trouble. But yeah, I agree. He hasn't been in a lot. FTX also had a lot of pretty funny marketing. Like they did, I would say their marketing
Really good.
strong, pretty strong. Like they made these condoms
Yeah.
that say never breaks even during large liquidation.
Ah,
It's funny.
That's funny. That's
They-
really funny.
They were handing them out at
Well, they're a sex cult too, so it's kind of like cross
Yeah,
promotion
yeah.
for both. Yeah.
oh, side to side.
Have we
and-
done an episode on Nexium?
No, we need to.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
He also was like huge on social media, close to 1 million followers on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow, that's a lot.
exactly. Like it's a lot of people, and he would write quite a bit. He would do those threads and stuff like that. He tweeted like frequently. He talked about being lucky in this one thread that I grabbed here, but I'm going to move it along. So basically giving a lot of life advice and shit like that and talking about the crypto community. We'll talk more about this. He was also one of the biggest donors to the Democratic Party.
Really?
He was the second biggest donor for the 2022 midterms behind like Soros.
Wow.
Seriously. Like
Wow.
a shit ton of money. He was really, really tight with politicians, so much so that he bought a $3 million townhouse outside the Capitol to wine and dine them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just for that purpose?
Yep. For instance, Cory Booker. This is a little video of. They're at a.
Real good produced by.
And so, Mr. Bankman Fried, I'm going to interrupt you because I've only got 30 seconds left. And I'm offended that you have a much more glorious afro than I once had. Really quick.
So they're clearly super friendly.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like joking around with Cory Booker. You know, he's hanging out with Bill Clinton.
Under what context was that?
It
that
was
like
some
a-
sort of like he was providing commentary on crypto.
Oh,
and that was
okay.
a really great segue because he spent a ton of time in DC trying to influence regulations coming out around crypto successfully.
Right.
Because he obviously wanted to like have a hand in it. There's even some stuff that's coming out right now where apparently Liz Warren used a lot of his influence to develop some of the stuff that's was I don't know if it's been put into law. I need to read more about it.
Yeah.
But around regulations for crypto,
Okay, interesting.
which
Our girl Liz.
our girl Liz. He spent $12 million getting a referendum on the ballot in California, and he made major investments in newsrooms like ProPublica and Semaphore, and said $1 billion would be a soft ceiling for his spending in 2024 on politics.
Okay.
He didn't, to be fair, only provide donations to the Democrats. He also did the Republicans, but it was definitely way more for the Democrats. So,
Yeah.
which is not a
Interesting.
great look. He was the second largest donor in 2021 to U.S. President Joe Biden.
Second largest?
Yeah, I'm serious. Like he's like,
Whoa.
like it wasn't like extremely important.
Yeah.
Like a lot of money. Like influenced things.
Oh.
For sure.
I don't listen. We need to give zero airtime to this, but I cannot fucking believe that Trump has announced another presidency. I'm like, why are you
I can
doing
believe it.
this
What is
to
he gonna?
us?
What is he gonna do? What is he gonna do?
I know. I think it's actually funny. I haven't seen a lot about it, and I think that's like intentional. Like literally, people are like, just
They're
shut up
over it.
about it. And we're
Did you
done
see
with
the
this.
New York Post, who used to be like super into him?
No.
When they released when he announced his bid for president, they say Florida man announces presidential bid.
That's
that was
really
like
funny.
all they put, and it was right under this picture of like a child in war,
That's
which was a
hilarious.
little bit unrelated, but it was.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. Versus
Yeah.
last time, it was front page news.
That's amazing.
I don't think he'll win, but that's a whole other thing.
He will certainly not win.
Yeah, well, listen. Also, we fucking said that last time.
That's true.
So. Anyway, so to give you a kind of one final note on the scale of how influential this guy was, this is ironically a New York Times event that was scheduled for the 30th of November, which is in 12 days. It hasn't happened yet.
Oh boy. Okay.
I'm fairly certain he will not be attending.
Yeah.
Because he's a little busy now. He was supposed to speak alongside President Zelensky.
Oh my God.
From the Ukraine, folks.
Dude, that guy's like, I'm like, don't you have a war going
Aren't
on?
you fucking
what are
busy?
you
I mean, he's probably going to come here to try to be like, can someone help?
Yeah.
Can someone help? Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
It's like when Fauci was on fucking every podcast.
Yeah.
Like he was about to do our podcast.
We had him lined up, and then they like got the vaccine. And he's like, I don't need y'all anymore. Other people, there was a ton of like Mark Zuckerberg is a speaker for this event. Secretary of Department of Treasury Janet Yellen,
Fink.
Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. Like, it's not. Honestly, I'm kind of like, can I get fucking tickets?
Yeah.
This sounds like an insane event.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
I'd love to see it, but I think it's a little bit out of my price range. I'm like, do you want RBN to cover?
No. Oh my
They're
God,
like,
that's so funny.
Scram? Get out of here. So at this point, he's on top of the world. FTX has grown so much. He's launched a coin underneath it, FTT, and he has a ton of businesses under it. Mm-hmm. He even has a rival. Wow, that's how you know you made it.
Yeah.
Once you have a rival. Changpeng Zhao is his rival. CZ, he's the CEO of Binance, which, as we mentioned, is like the biggest exchange out there. It's really, really big. They have their own issues. That's a whole other episode. And they started out kind of as friends. In 2019, Binance invested $100 million into FTX, effectively owning 20% of it. But their relationship started to falter over time when, CZ noticed some of his stuff with the regulators where he was trying to really influence regulations and referred to himself as the JP Morgan of crypto.
Oh,
so SBF was understandably trying to be like, I'm like the guy. I've got a good background. I'm like, know what I'm doing. And CZ was like, why do you get to say all this? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
He also found out, and he did an interview, CZ did an interview on Squawk Box in November, where he said, we did hear some reports of him bad-mouthing us in D.C. in the lobbying circles. So bad-mouthing Binance to people in D.C.
Oh, okay.
So CZ was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And at this point, he had invested $100 million back in the day, so had about 20% of the company. So because of this, he decided to leave, sell his investment. SBF bought back his stake for $2.1 billion. And this is important. He paid partly in FTT tokens or coins to CZ.
Okay.
So did you follow that?
No.
Let me explain it again. I was like,
Okay.
I'm seeing question
Yeah,
marks.
I was like,
So basically CZ, back when they first started, gave them a bunch of money and was like, I get 20% of this company.
Yeah.
Then later on, he finds out that he's talking shit. And he's like, for that reason, I'm not going to own a part of this company anymore.
Right.
Decides to sell it. SBF is like, fine. Gives him $2.1 billion $2.1 billion in value, part of which was bought in tokens, FTT tokens.
Yeah.
Which is his coin.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
So yeah, okay. So he's basically giving this guy back his money, but in his coins.
Yeah,
Am I understanding
partially,
correctly?
at
Okay.
least. So, whatever.
Shiesty.
Well, at this point, no issue. You know what I mean? They carry a bunch of different coins. He's like, fine. After a while, SBF is starting to talk more shit about CZ. He goes, is he allowed to go into DC? And he does this in a tweet and deletes it, but people had already seen it at this point. So CZ is getting more and more like, okay, buddy, like, kind of fuck off. You know what I mean? And then a few days later, CoinDesk drops a report on Alameda Research. And now this is extremely significant. Basically, what they were saying in the report was that there are $5 billion worth of FTT tokens in circulation, and that Alameda's balance sheet held 3.66 billion of them.
Oh,
that's most.
yeah.
That is what we would call most.
Yeah.
Alameda and FTX are like sister organization.
Yeah.
So if FTT is their coin and that's a lot of the money that they are saying is like their value, then Alameda holding most of it means that they can kind of like control the value to an extent.
Right.
Yeah, so there was the balance sheets were all really sketchy. And apparently they had siphoned billions of dollars from FTX customers' accounts without users' knowledge. They have routinely engaged in the prohibited practice of front running, which is basically, this is where it gets into the deep finance shit, but whatever. The basics of it is that they were using customer money to make investment decisions based on insider knowledge of upcoming token launches of FTX's trading platforms, and also investing in like venture capital groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So basically it's like if you put money into, say, Robinhood.
Yeah.
That's an exchange. You're buying things and they just took your money and then invested it.
Oh.
And you're like,
wait, what? Into what?
yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
So CZ finds out about this, and he realizes he has a bunch of FTT that he was given to sell for when he did the sale of his 20%.
Yeah.
So he says, as part of Binance's exit from FTX equity last year, Binance received roughly $2.1 billion in cash and FTT. Due to recent revelations that have come to light, we've decided to liquidate any remaining FTT on our books. He tweeted this. It went viral, triggered a panic, and FTT tanked. Everybody sold it.
Okay.
Now, the reason that this is super important is because it like was like a Jenga tower, like one thing from the bottom collapsed, so the whole thing came down.
Oh, interesting.
On Sunday and Monday, they had requests for over $6 million in withdrawals.
Oh, shit.
From the exchange.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
And because of the way that they've been treating the money with their future trading, or future running, or whatever the hell it was, front running. Thank you. Oh, look at you.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Can't tell you what it is, but
yeah. He was able to. They didn't have the money to pay people, so they were like, "Fuck." Uh-oh. Sam tried to convince people online that everything was fine, but reality was he wasn't able to fulfill these transactions. So people are trying to get, like, say, if you had like $1,000, they try to get it out and it wouldn't clear.
Yeah.
The amount of money rose to $8 billion in withdrawal.
Oh my God.
And he was like, oh shit, I got to raise money so I can pay these people back like right now. So he's trying to fundraise. He goes to CZ. CZ offers to buy the entire exchange. So he tweets, this afternoon, FTX asked for our help. There's a significant liquidity crunch. To protect users, we signed a letter of intent, which means like non-binding, but he was able to say like, I intend to purchase it after we do our due diligence. FTX was dependent on Alameda and had a ton of value in FTX, so people started to wonder how much they depended on another. If value of one dropped, the other may also tank.
Yeah.
Anyway, 24 hours later, it was announced that they were actually not going to do this.
Okay.
And CZ retweets this Binance thing. So basically says, as a result of corporate due diligence, as well as the latest news reports regarding mishandled customer funds and alleged U.S. agency investigations, we have decided that we will not pursue the potential acquisition of FTX.com.
Yeah, that's a good move, my guy.
Yeah. So why did Alameda have so much FTT on its balance sheet? Because of fucking Caroline. And other things too. But she had been taking out those loans and using it to make those investments. And they apparently, what's been released since then, been doing a bunch of other sketchy shit.
Oh, fuck. Like what?
As well.
What else could she possibly do? She's like a racist.
I know. Well, I mean, they're all definitely bad,
sadist.
but she's not great either.
Yeah.
The media has been going crazy on reporting about it. We'll talk more about what they actually did in just a second, because that came out like yesterday. Mm-hmm. The New York Times, by the way, wrote this total puff piece. Okay. On SBF. One of the quotes was a breathless love letter to SBF.
Oh God, what are we doing
here? The title was How Sam Bankman Fried's Crypto Empire Collapsed. None of this one guy wrote fraud, the use of the word fraud, 0, Enron 0, crime 0, illiquid 0, stolen 0, hidden 0, criminal 0, backdoor 0. Words used, he's getting sleep.
1. That's so funny.
So basically they were like, oh, he's finally getting some rest. This poor boy.
Jesus.
And that's because he gave a ton of money to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fucking hacks.
Exactly. Just follow the money. This one person tweeted out this picture of toilet paper and goes, New York Times, ultra soft reporting.
That's great. That's
It was
so
pretty
funny.
Meanwhile, SBF had randomly been talking to some reporters over last week, and it feels like he is losing it.
Oh my God, yes. Let's watch this video.
So, well, it's like an extended Twitter chat. So a guy from Vox reaches out to SBF.
Oh boy.
And he goes, hey, like, checking in. And SBF, like, he figured he would never respond, obviously, because he's under investigation right now.
And also, like, you're a reporter. I would be like, goodbye.
No. He replied right away. He said, you said a lot of stuff about how you wanted to make regulations, just good ones. Was that pretty much just PR too? And
SBF replied.
He replied a couple things, and he goes, yeah, just PR. Fuck regulators. They make everything worse. They don't protect customers at all.
Okay.
Dude, that's all he had been doing was like his whole effort was like, I'm trying to actually make crypto safe, work with the regulators. Then he immediately backtracks the second when asked about that by Vox in the middle of him being investigated.
I can't believe this whole thing is published. It's like embarrassing.
It really is. So then he says, the reporter asks, I'm sort of putting together a picture where you don't believe anyone is doing anything for good reasons. You don't believe the good guys are good. So why not make it big and then be the one who decides to get to just what good is? And if you have to do sketchy stuff along the way, everyone else is doing it and plenty of them are worse and people still like them as long as they win. Is that fair? So asking like, is this your stance?
And a very like EA approach.
Yes. And he says, what we're left with at the end of the day is only the rich can invest. Only they can make or lose money. Each individual decision seemed fine, and I didn't realize how big their sum was until the end.
Oh.
He was okay doing bad things.
Okay.
Yeah. Yikes.
Well, I guess that's not surprising.
You were really good at talking about ethics for someone who kind of saw it as an all as a game with winners and losers. And he replied, yeah, haha, I had to be. It's what reputations are made to of some extent. I feel bad for those who get fucked by it. By this dumb game we woke Westerners play when we say all the right shibboleths, and so everyone likes us. Dave Portnoy retweeted this part of the chat, and Jack from the founder of Twitter replied with an exclamation point question mark. Because this guy's whole thing had been about how he's such a good person and trying to like make the world a better place.
No one is ever a good person, and no one's ever trying to make the world a better place.
Truly, it's like kind of crushing.
It really is.
The whole podcast has been like, that's the theme.
We haven't found a single. Well, we have one
Patagonia guy.
Patagonia guy. He was cool. That's it, though.
That's it. So obviously, he resigned as CEO. He's being looked into, and the new CEO they brought in is they also filed for bankruptcy.
Okay,
because they couldn't pay anybody money. So they brought in John Ray III, who was the guy who oversaw Enron's liquidations in the 2000s.
Okay.
And he said, this is one of the worst management of funds I've ever seen.
Oh, my God.
And this guy did Enron.
That's crazy. That's really saying something.
That's insane. Highlighted a bunch of different things. These are all like just came out in this big report that he did on the bankruptcy. It's like a 30-page deal. Well, the first thing he said was there was a lot of security issues. They were sending private crypto keys with unsecured email accounts, which is very dangerous.
Yeah.
They were also allowing Alameda Research to conduct trades that didn't match what the other investors had to do. So basically, like the requirements for protections were not applying to what Alameda was able to do trades on.
Right.
Deeper in finance, point is they were doing sketchy shit.
Yeah.
And they were misusing customer funds. They said that few of the company's financial statements appear to have been audited, and he didn't have confidence in the accuracy of the ones that were. And one example, for instance, they used an assessment from a firm with whose website indicates they are the first ever CPA firm to officially open its metaverse headquarters in the metaverse platform Decentraland.
Oh, God. Okay.
They apparently also, I know, right? They also used a lot of the money to buy homes, including that one that SBF was living in with his like harem.
Oh, wow.
Of people.
Wow.
Yeah. So the lawsuits have gone fucking out of control since then. And one, they're going to continue to evolve. One specifically that I think is very interesting was a lawsuit against some of the celebrities.
Oh, my God.
That did that. Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So that did those ads. Because they were basically putting faith into FTX, which turned out to be an entire scam. So we'll see how this all goes. But the lawsuit names
Larry?
Tom Brady, Gisele, Steph Curry, Golden State Warriors, Shaq, a bunch of other people. Larry is not named in at least this part. Who who knows?
That'd be so funny if because he did the joke that was like, not for me, that's how he got out of it.
Maybe.
That would be amazing. He'd be like, this is a Seinfeld premise.
That is the funniest fucking thing.
But in that situation, he would be Seinfeld to like luck out like
yeah,
that.
I know.
Wow.
So the suit described them all as parties who either controlled, promoted, assisted in, or participated in the trading to residents of the U.S. Now, Tom Brady and Gisele, as we might remember, Gisele has a position with FTX.
Yes.
So let's map this over some drama they've had in their own lives.
Interesting.
As we know, Tom and Gisele are getting divorced. They had a very interesting year. At the beginning of the year, they were pretty like quiet. Then he retired. That was very exciting. They were all happy about it.
For like 2 seconds. Then he was
Yeah.
like, wait, I have to spend time with my family? Nah.
Well, actually, that might not be the reason.
Yeah.
He went to Italy on vacation with his family, and they had all the classic pictures where they looked all cute out there.
Yeah.
They come back from Italy, and he goes to training camp right away.
Right.
And she went to Costa Rica or something like that.
Yeah.
He gets to training camp, and then do you remember how he randomly took 10 days off from the very beginning of training camp?
I don't.
But
you
you might have missed it. It didn't.
I remember
come
him
out
looking like really ugly.
well, he all of a sudden he was like, I have to take a leave of absence for 10 days at the beginning of training camp. He just got back from vacation from Italy.
Yeah.
So like, why do you need another vacation right away?
Mm-hmm.
He does it though. He goes to the Bahamas with Gisele to an exclusive resort.
Oh, interesting. To the harem.
To the harem. Immediately after the vacation, he gets back and he gave an interview saying, I'm 45 years old. Man, there's a lot of shit going on right now. What shit?
Yeah.
You were just on vacation. At this point, he hasn't announced his
divorce.
Shortly after that, though, he goes on a PR blitz for the disillusionment of the dissolution, whatever, of his marriage. So they go on this whole campaign, and you know how like it's been very clear that Gisele is like with this jiu-jitsu instructor now, and they're completely separated. Like they're completely separated.
I didn't even know that.
There's an entire theory that the reason they're getting divorced is because there's coming on financial disaster for Brady.
Oh.
And because of they want to have a clear divorce with Gisele and the kids separated so they don't get pulled into it.
Whoa. But wasn't she the one involved in this? How
they
did
were
he
all
get
I mean, I don't
so
know how the
fucked?
back end of it
Yeah,
all works.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure they went to the Bahamas, reviewed, and were like, we need a plan.
That's probably why he looked so shitty.
I'm sure he was like not super worried about the games.
No, he was
about to play. He
very
was, like,
stressed.
fucked off. Like,
damn.
dude.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild? We don't know if it's true, but like I think it's fucking true.
I think I think it has something to do with it for certain. Jesus.
There's no way it didn't. There's no way
Yeah.
they're just chilling. Meanwhile, CZ is chilling. He's like, this guy's crushing it.
Who's
Look at
that?
him.
Is that Paris Hilton?
Yeah, he's like hanging out with Paris Hilton. This was like from a few days ago.
Nice.
So this Binance CEO, everyone's like, you ruined FTX, and he's like, no, dude, they
ruined themselves.
Completely misused customer funds, and I just didn't want to participate in it. And my favorite part of this whole thing, SBF and Caroline. A few days ago, it was said that on 11/18, they would have a sex tape be released on an uncensorable webpage if they weren't held accountable for their actions. Because a lot of people have lost billions and billions of dollars.
Did it come out?
Hasn't as of yet.
Okay.
I haven't checked again, but I can't fucking wait to watch. Let me tell you that.
We should have like popcorn. and
Yeah,
watch
we
the
should
whole
like go
thing.
live.
Yeah, yeah.
Yesterday-
Find that on the Patreon.
Right. Yesterday, Eitan and I were laughing about this because he's like does a bunch of crypto stuff and was talking about this sex tape, and we were like, what if he's just like really good?
I mean, he's had a lot of practice, and so is she.
Maybe like what if this sex tape comes out and he's just like giving it to her?
Probably.
And we're all
is.
like, this is kind of hot. Because I look at it and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it'd be great.
No.
It doesn't seem great.
Yeah. He's just going to start an OnlyFans.
She's got those cheeks that she looks like a baby.
She looks like a kid. I don't need to
really
see a
does.
sex tape involving this girl who looks like a kid.
She looks like
for
a child.
obvious reasons, folks, because
Yeah.
that's not my thing.
No.
Nor, yeah.
She really looks 12.
Yeah. Well,
And she's like got to be at this point at least like almost 30.
oh,
Right?
I don't know. Yeah. But yeah. So this sex tape might be leaking any second now.
Well, that would be fun.
TBD. We will definitely be revisiting this story. It's obviously also all of the different coins are like going crazy right now.
Yeah.
And no one has any faith in crypto at the moment.
No.
So
Isn't Bitcoin like basically dead?
the whole thing is like chaos.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't
wow.
know. I think we're going to try to bring Hannah on to actually give some more insight into like the reality of the whole thing, because this is difficult to follow, clearly.
Yeah.
But that's the story. That's
Wow.
that's the latest.
I really enjoyed the fact that Brady and Gisele are just like wrapped up in this whole thing.
They're like, what? And Gisele continues. That means Gisele had to hang out with Caroline.
Oh my god.
Caroline Ellison, the Harry Potter fan, and Gisele had to sit in a room and just be like, hi.
Oh my god.
It's so nice to meet you.
She'd probably be like, speaking of eugenics, it's amazing that we're both human beings. Because I look like this and you look like that.
Because you're you and I'm wow.
Yeah, and I look like a fucking gazelle.
Goddess, and you look like a
Child.
An idiot who ruined this whole thing. Actually, all of them did.
Yeah.
It's the whole group. SBF is, they're all so creepy. I don't like it.
So creepy.
This is 100% going to be a Netflix documentary.
Definitely.
By Christmas.
By the way, there is a documentary right now about the GameStop thing. It's called.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe we should rewatch it, because I feel like we need to revisit some of the stuff at the end.
Yeah. Damn, I forget what it's called. Eat the Rich.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll check it out.
Yeah. So we'll have to check it out.
Okay.
Guys, watch White Lotus. For no particular reason. I just
circle back. Thank you.
Circle back.
I actually was hoping we were going to revisit that earlier, but there we go.
Here we are. It's a great show. Jennifer Coolidge,
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
final shout out to White Lotus. Final shout out to the sex tape. If anyone gets it, woo, send it my way. Let me tell you that.
Oh my god, please send it our way. It'd be so much fun to watch that. Like way more fun than watching two actual hot people.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. That's available like anywhere on the
Yeah,
internet. It's like every corner is just two hot people.
Yeah,
fucking.
I don't need to
I
see
want to see
porn,
these like freaky wood nymph girl.
They're probably doing some like
Weird.
headstands
Weird
with toys
shit.
and shit. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know, something's going on.
They're probably like, making like good trades and like doing like, I mean, they're like, I just made $1,000. And he's like, oh, I'll give you a head now.
Yeah, 1,000. They'd be like, why are you nickel and diming me?
That's true. Yeah. They're like, why did you even, like, you came.
So are these people going to go to jail?
Probably.
Okay.
So that's the whole thing right now is they're in the Bahamas. So there is like international stuff like that. So they need to figure that out. But beyond that, yeah, more than likely.
These stories, they're like, and why is
This is real. This was just happening.
Why is Bill Clinton involved in all of this?
Why is he? I think he was just probably at a talk.
No, sure,
but yeah, I'm
like,
sure. Yeah, they're all the usual suspects. Also, Orlando Bloom, ironically, out of all of them, SBF's like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, good for you, Orlando.
Yeah,
You're
right.
a good dude.
Yeah.
I like you. Him and Keanu Reeves. I'm like,
Oh yeah, Keanu Reeves,
I like them.
famously a good guy.
Yeah.
Katy Perry is still dating Orlando. I think.
Are they married?
Then maybe they're married. Yeah.
Who knows? Hard to keep track.
Anyway, she has giant jugs. I would like to see that.
Those
sex
things-
tapes, too.
Those things are thangin'.
Oh, those things are thangin'.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed. We will be doing, I think the longer version of this will be on the Patreon. I'll probably put that in the fucking description as well.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out a good strategy for the Patreon. So let us know what you'd like to hear over there.
You know what I would like to do for the Patreon? So I would love for people to write in anonymous letters about crazy work stories. I think that would be so much fun. So
Yeah.
if you have any, please send them over. Either DM us or go ahead and, what's our email again? riskitbusinessnews@gmail?
I think so.
riskitbusinessnews@gmail, and put in the subject line, my boss fingered me or whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh,
so
definitely write that.
We know which one is fun.
And then send us the sex tape when you find it.
Yes, please. And like and subscribe, you guys.
Three
Like
friends. Tell 3
And
friends.
subscribe, tell 3 friends. That's how we keep the show going.
Yeah. And yay, Mae's married one last time.
Married and all that shit. Get married, tell your friends, and don't get fingered by your boss if you can help it. Okay.
Yep. Love it. Don't get fingered. Don't do
get
it.
fingered. Bye.
Bye.